In the turbulent seas of the early 18th century, one name struck terror into the hearts of sailors and merchants alike: Blackbeard. This enigmatic pirate, whose true identity remained shrouded in mystery, commanded a fearsome reputation that transcended the boundaries of reality and legend. Blackbeard, known as Edward Teach or Thatch, as contemporary records often suggest, embodied the very essence of pirate lore, melding cunning strategies with a terrifying image to carve his name into the annals of history. His life, steeped in intrigue and violence, was a whirlwind of audacious exploits and brutal confrontations that solidified his place as the most notorious part of the golden age of piracy. I love this video. As we delve into the captivating story of Blackbeard, we uncover the layers of myth and truth that have enshrined him as a legendary figure of maritime fear and fascination. Early life. Little is known about Blackbeard's early life. It's commonly believed that at the time of his death, he was between 35 and 40 years old and thus born around 1680. In contemporary records, his name is most often given as Blackbeard, Edward Thatch, or Edward Teach. The latter is most often used because it's the form used in the dispatches of North America's only newspaper at the time, the Boston Newsletter. But primary sources written by people who had met the pirate all refer to him as Thatch, or variations thereof. Several spellings of his surname exist: Thatch, 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 Thack, Tack, Thatcher, and Teach. One source claims that his surname was Drummond, but the lack of any supporting documentation makes this unlikely. Pirates habitually used fictitious surnames while engaged in piracy, so as not to tarnish the family name, which makes it unlikely that Teach's real name will ever be known. The 17th century rise of the Britain's American colonies and the rapid 18th century expansion of the Atlantic slave trade had made Bristol an important international seaport. And Teach was most likely raised in what was then the second largest city in England. He could almost certainly read and write. He communicated with merchants, and when killed, had in his possession a letter addressed to him by the Chief Justice and Secretary of the Province of Carolina, Tobias Knight. Author Robert Lee speculated that Teach may therefore have been born into a respectable, wealthy family. He may have arrived in the Caribbean in the last year of the 17th century on a merchant vessel, possibly a slave ship. The 18th century author Charles Johnson claimed that Teach was for some time a sailor, operating from Jamaica on privateer ships during the War of the Spanish Succession, and that he had often distinguished himself for his uncommon boldness and personal courage. It's unknown at what point during the war Teach joined the fighting, as with the record of most of his life before he became a pirate. Life as a pirate. With its history of colonialism, trade, and piracy, the West Indies was a hotspot for maritime incidents in the 17th and 18th century. The uninhabited island of the New Providence became a key base for pirates, including Henry Jennings and his crew, due to its strategic location near busy shipping lanes and its harbor that could accommodate numerous ships, though it was too shallow for the Royal Navy's larger vessels. New Providence became a haven for pirates, offering them respite from the law and a temporary base for their activities. Teach was among those who benefited from New Providence. After the Treaty of Utrecht in the early 18th century, he moved from Jamaica and joined Captain Benjamin Hornigold, a prominent pirate operating from the island. By 1760, Teach was commanding a sloop under Hornigold, and he began his piracy venture. They captured various vessels, including a boat carrying flour and a sloop with wine. Teach's first significant report as a pirate came from the Captain Matthew Munn, who noted Teach commanding a sloop with a sizable crew. In 1717, Teach took over Stede Bonnet's ship, the Revenge, and expanded their fleet. However, Hornigold's crew grew discontented with his restraint against British vessels, leading to Hornigold's retirement and Teach's continued rise in piracy. The fearsome image. Blackbeard, whose real name was likely Edward Thatch, crafted a terrifying image that became central to his pirate persona. He was instantly recognizable for his thick black beard, which he adorned with the ribbons and lit fuses. The fuses, burning as he approached, created a smoky, almost supernatural aura around him, enhancing his fearsome reputation. This dramatic and unsettling appearance was deliberately designed to instill fear and project an image of invincibility. Blackbeard's psychological strategy was as crucial to his success as his actual piratical skills. By creating an atmosphere of dread, he made his enemies more likely to surrender without a fight, thereby minimizing the risk of casualties among his crew. Tactics and reputation. Blackbeard's tactical acumen was matched only by his ability to instill terror. He employed a range of strategies to disrupt maritime trade, including blocking key shipping routes and launching unexpected assaults. One of his most effective tactics was to approach his targets with a formidable fleet, creating a facade of overwhelming power. This tactic not only increased the likelihood of surrender, but also reduced the need for actual combat. Blackbeard's reputation for cruelty and his use of psychological warfare further cemented his fearsome status. Stories of his ruthlessness and the ominous side of his burning beard contributed to his legend, making him a symbol of pirate terror across the seas. The end of Blackbeard. Blackbeard's reign of terror concluded on November 22, 1780, in a dramatic and brutal confrontation off Ocracoke Island, North Carolina. In this final battle, he faced a British naval force led by Lieutenant Robert Maynard. Despite his fierce resistance and the valor of his crew, Blackbeard was ultimately defeated. The fight was intense, with both sides suffering casualties, but the British forces managed to overpower Blackbeard's crew. After the battle, Blackbeard's head was severed and displayed on the bowsprit of the Maynard ship as a grim trophy, signaling the end of his piratical career and serving as a stark warning to the other would-be pirates. Legacy. Blackbeard's legacy has been profoundly entrenched in popular culture, where he is often portrayed as the archetypal ruthless pirate, whose very name conjures images of swashbuckling adventure and fearsome villainy. This portrayal has been magnified and embellished through countless books, films, and folklore, which frequently romanticize his exploits and heighten his mythos beyond historical accuracy. These dramatizations, while contributing to his enduring fame, often obscure the complex reality of his life and times. Nonetheless, at the heart of these sensationalized depictions lies a significant truth about his impact on the maritime history. Blackbeard's story epitomizes the peak of piracy's golden age, reflecting both the seductive allure and the inherent dangers of a life lived outside the bounds of law and order on these high seas. His audacious and often brutal actions, combined with his carefully crafted image of terror, encapsulate the dramatic tension of his era and highlight the broader themes of fear and fascination that piracy evoked. His legend, with its blend of historical fact and mythical exaggeration, continues to captivate the imagination, serving as a powerful testament to the enduring intrigue surrounding pirate life. Blackbeard's life and legacy offer a window into the tumultuous world of 18th century piracy, illustrating how the romanticism and horror of his story resonate through history, perpetuating his status as a symbol of maritime menace and adventure. Blackbeard, or Edward Teach, stands as a monumental figure in the annals of pirate history, epitomizing the apex of piracy during the Golden Age. His reign, marked by a fearsome and distinctive appearance, was as much a product of psychological warfare as it was of physical might. Blackbeard's deliberate cultivation of a terrifying persona, including his infamous use of burning fuses woven into his beard to create a demonic aura, exemplified his understanding of the power of fear in achieving his aims. His strategic prowess extended beyond mere intimidation. He employed calculated tactics to dominate maritime trade routes, using a formidable fleet to create the illusion of overwhelming force. This approach not only heightened his enemies' dread, but also frequently resulted in their surrender without direct combat, thereby minimizing risks to his crew. Despite his ultimate defeat and death in 1718 at the hands of the Lieutenant Robert Maynard's British forces, Blackbeard's legacy endures in popular culture. His life and exploits have been immortalized in countless books, films, and folklore, often with embellishments that further fuel his legend. Yet, at the heart of these romanticized portrayals lies a significant truth about his impact on maritime history. Blackbeard's story encapsulates the allure, danger, and complex reality of piracy, reflecting both the romanticized heroics and the brutal realities of a pirate's life. His legend serves as a testament to the enduring fascination with piracy and the intricate interplay between historical facts and legendary embellishments, illustrating how his infamous career has continued to captivate imaginations across the centuries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. We would love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going.